Today is March 18th, and it's been almost 2 weeks since the last video I did, so I figured I better do another one so you can see how it's going. I've been busy doing a bunch of other things, so I haven't been able to spend as much time on this as I'd like, but currently the updates are, this is an extra deck beam, new deck beam up here and one here. In a previous video, you might have seen a square piece of plywood sitting in there. So what I decided to do is just to run the deck all the way up and have it just disappear into the bottom. The bottom's coming up here. The deck comes along like this and just transitions off into that. So there'll be, the deck will just fade into this here. And I'll be putting some sort of vertical structure on here later to help to support the sides, but that can be figured out later on. So, and then I put a couple of battens on here just to give you the idea of what it'll look like. You can see the stringer in here. All the deck beams, by the way, are all epoxied into place. So those are all set now. And I've also been working on the battery system, or where the batteries are going to go and how I'm supporting them. So this is a mock-up of a battery here. The batteries are 500 millimeters this direction, 680 millimeters tall, and then 301 millimeters this way. So on the batteries, all the controls are on the top, or you can lay this battery down on the side and have the controls on the front face. But I'm going to be putting them in vertically like this. So the controls will all be on the top part here. And then I need a way to secure these into the boat. And I thought I better do that before it gets too far along. So down here, the other thing I've been doing is I've got these pieces in here. So this was the original height that the deck was going to be, and between each one of these stations, the deck is basically going up 5 millimeters, so that by up to this point here, it's probably 130, 140 millimeters taller here at this point. So to meet the new deck and to seal this off, I've cut these pieces of plywood out. They're not glued in yet, they're just sitting in here. And then back here where the batteries are, same idea. These pieces are just sitting in here right now. But I don't want, obviously, water going down into the battery compartment. So if this is the deck and it's wet, I don't want the water going in there. So these are about 200 millimeters higher up above the deck. And then there'll be a cover that goes down, sits over the top of this. Over here, this part forward of the batteries, this will just be a round curved deck up here, so the deck will just run straight across over to the other side, and then we'll have some hatches for access to some of these spaces down below. And then to keep the batteries in place, essentially what I'm going to be doing is using pieces of angle iron, that aluminum angle, on either side of the battery. So like one like this, another one like that, and the battery will basically just drop down in there, and the same pieces of aluminum angle up here. So the battery will drop down in between those. So those pieces of angle will be bolted like that. Through the bulkheads, and then we'll be able to lower the batteries down. They'll just go down in between these. So I've got about 2 millimeters of extra space, or I'm going to be having about 2 millimeters of extra space on either side of the battery. So that should keep it nice and snug in there. Shouldn't be rattling around. There's hardly any room fore and aft on the battery either, so that'll capture it really well. Got some foam padding I'm going to be putting down there in the bottom, and then I just have to come up with a mechanism to hold the batteries down so that they can't pop up this way. But I'll be able to run cables, from one battery to the other across the top of these bulkhead pieces like that once they're in there. And let's see, I can't think of anything else other than there's a couple other views of what it looks like. Thanks for watching.